What's up? Grayson Report. Happy Saturday. What's up? Nikki, Bella, Wendy, Tammy. Hope you're feeling better, Wendy. Jen, Chris Barber, Lisa Boo, Julissa, Dusty, Ann, Tyrana, Matthew, happy birthday. Hope you had a good day. Joanne, Wink Sheepberry, Gunner Girl, Brandon, Bernadette, I Need to Fish, Be a Stone, Jennifer Marie. Thank you as well, Wendy, for that super sticker. Hearts for Wendy. Guys, I hope, Wendy, you are feeling better, and thank you for being a trooper and stopping by. So, guys, while I wait for a few people to come in, how's everyone going? Or how's everyone doing? Oh my God, how's everyone going? How's everyone doing? How's your Saturday going? Hearts for Matthew as well, because it is his birthday. I Need to Fish is eating spaghetti and meatballs. That sounds good, actually. Matthew goes, thank you, not too bad. Got the part for the car. Hopefully that fixes it tomorrow. If not, get another car. Oh, I hope that fixes it, Matthew. But glad you got the part. Wink Sheepberry's feeling in a spooky mood. That is cool. Jen is going crazy. How so, Jen? D Nice, what's up? I feel so short in this chair. Did anyone do anything interesting this Saturday as I wait for a few people to come in? Sorry, I kicked the camera for a bit. Sorry for the small earthquake. D Nice with the pinche duck. Yes, the pinche duck. Wanted to say hello to everybody. He didn't feel like hiding today. He brought his cousin Skelegoose with him. Jen has over 2,000 things on spreadsheet to verify. Wow. Now I can see where you're going crazy, Jen. That would make me go crazy. Start with the beginning and then just work your way down. Don't look at it as a whole. Joanne is repotting seedlings. Oh, that sounds cool. Anne had a total system failure. Glad I was able to get back in. Oh, that is good. Jennifer Marie goes, BJ out and proud tonight. Yep. Lisa Bugo's Project Metal Music says, hi, thanks for coming in the stream earlier. Oh, no problem. And thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Welcome. Squibs, I'm sorry for pronouncing it wrong. Marloka, Osiris, Kyle, Water Dragon, MMK, Listen Linda B, Rebecca Betts, and Elfig, and Court Press 87 to the Wolf Pack. All thanks to Anne. Anne, you are super awesome. Hearts for Anne, guys. Thank you, Anne. Thank you for the support. And welcome all the new Wolf Pack members. Cheryl, what's up? Hold on, guys. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I can check something. I forgot to set it up. All right, guys, before I get into my topics and as we wait for people to trickle in, let's talk about some horror movies coming out in April. I do know on April 5th, we have The First Omen, which is a prequel to the original Omen. I saw a second trailer because the first trailer I saw was a teaser and I wasn't impressed. The second trailer I saw, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. Maybe not in the movie theater. I'm probably gonna wait for to come on streaming like I am with Pooh, Blood and Honey Part 2. Because I feel like, I don't know, I don't have high expectations for the first Omen, and you guys already know why with Pooh, Blood and Honey Part 2. But I believe the first Omen is coming out this Friday. So if you guys are looking for something spooky to watch, check out for that. And if you're a fan of the Omen, I'm not sure if it's going to do its justice, but we'll see. It did look like it was kind of interesting. Trying to look for it. There's also the movie Abigail. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. It did not, the trailer I saw did not cut interest for me. But that would be another one to probably wait for streaming for me at least. But you guys, if you're looking for something spooky, you guys can watch that as well. Gunner Girl goes, I saw an ad for that. It looks super creepy. Melissa Smith goes, Pooh, Blood and Honey sounds like an episode of Oprah when she has Dr. Oz on. Chris Vargas goes, just no more Diddy BS. I was like, don't worry, I won't talk about him. Abigail looked like a cool concept, but I'm not sure when that's coming out. Because I haven't really found like an article. The articles I've been finding just give like all the movies for 2024. And I'm like, I don't want to go through all the movies of 2024. I just want the horror ones. Abigail, if you guys, ooh, you can already get tickets for it. Looks like April 18th, if I'm not mistaken. April 19th, I'm sorry. April 19th is when the Abigail movie, it's kind of like a, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. It's like a vampire-esque movie with a young girl. So kind of an interesting idea, but the trailer for me didn't, it didn't catch me. Like I was like, nah, it doesn't look that great. The concept is good, but it didn't catch my interest. Wink Shape Berry goes, the Omen sequels weren't that great, so a prequel, I'll check it out. I mean, it looks cool. It does, but I'm with Sydney from Scream. She says, don't F with the original. So I always say that line, and I totally believe it. Like, I know it's a prequel though, so it's not really a remake, but still, like, don't mess with the original. I know there was a part that's kind of, I don't know if it's giving homage to the first one, but there is a scene in there that's kind of, I'm not telling which scene, but there is a scene that I saw in the commercial or trailer that kind of gives homage to the first film. Cheryl King goes, Abigail sounds it might be interesting. There's also one which I have not seen the I kind of I need to see the trailer for it, but it's called Sting. And I saw like a poster, like someone posted a poster of it. That is also coming out. It's coming out on April 12th. But I have not seen a trailer for it, but I can only imagine what it involves because I kind of see it involves spiders. The synopsis is Charlotte is a rebellious 12-year-old girl who finds a tiny spider in her rundown apartment building. She keeps it in a jar, but it soon starts to grow at a monstrous rate and develop an insatiable appetite for blood as her neighbors begin to disappear. Charlotte and her family find themselves in a desperate fight for their lives against a ravenous arachnid with a taste for human flesh. So that is coming out on April 12th, which I had no idea. I saw it on my feed, but I have yet to see the trailer, so I have to check the trailer out for that one. But it does sound interesting. It's probably one of those movies that is not going to do very well, but it sounds cool to me. I kind of like those movies that that people don't know about. Cheryl's like, I don't do spiders. Lisa Boo goes, is it supposed to be like Interview with a Vampire? Sounds like it with the young girl. Lisa Boo talking about Abigail the movie. I don't think it is, because what I saw in the trailer, it was more like vampire. I don't think it is. It didn't give me the Interview with the Vampire vibe. Jen goes, how about they make a movie about attacking roosters? You know what, Jen? They might have one. Believe it or not, they might have one. You never know. And goes, spiders are cool until you find yourself slapping yourself. Yeah. Osiris, what's up? Wake Sheafberry's going, how can it be a prequel when the first Omen is all about him being born? I want to say it has to do with, I want to say because we never see his mother in the first one. So I want to say it follows his mother, because that's what I'm kind of getting off the trailer. Don't quote me. But that's what I'm guessing. It may be, or something to do with that, but what I saw in the trailer, that's what I'm guessing it could be. It might not even be that. But that's what it seems like. Maybe that's what they're thinking of, because we never see his mother. He's basically adopted. And we don't know where he comes from. We kind of do, because he kind of, we don't see her, but we know he was adopted. And then one last, I think there's another one before I get into my topics. There's one called Civil War. What is this one about? Oh, it says action sci-fi. I don't think that's really horror. It's released in the UK on April 12th, so I think it because it says UK on the description. In a dystopian future America, a team of military embedded journalists race against time to reach Washington, D.C. before rebel factions descend upon the White House. Of course, it would be in the UK only. They would not want to show that here. Melissa Smith or his father, but we all know it's the mom who is to blame if the kids are demons. Matthew goes, maybe that's why they had the fall happen. Maybe the mother was there somehow and saw it. Kyle, what's up? All right, guys. I'm pretty much going through, because there was a lot. I decided to do ghosts in the news, where I Google ghost in the news and see what pops up. This next article, I actually got. I actually saw another YouTuber talk about it. He normally does true crime. He is all about true crime. Cinema Shogun. I watch him every once in a while. And he spoke about this, which I thought was weird, because it didn't pop up on any of my searches. And you would think it would because of what the guy did and what he was wearing. And he even said that it was kind of hidden from him, and he thought it was weird that no one was talking about this. So this is from NBC News. This happened a couple days ago, I want to say. I don't know exact day. But Pennsylvania man in scream mask kills neighbor with chainsaw, then walks home to watch a movie, police say. The man who initially said he was just trying to scare his neighbor later admitted to stabbing and killing him, according to a criminal complaint. This isn't really horrific, but it's more true crime-ish, but the fact that he was wearing a ghost face mask makes it a little unsettling. A Pennsylvania man attacked and killed his neighbor this week using a K and a chainsaw while wearing a mask and costume like the one from the movie Scream, officials said. The man then returned home and watched a movie until police came, according to a criminal complaint from the Pennsylvania State Police. Police said Zach Moyer, 30, surrendered after the attack and was taken into custody without incident. He has been charged with criminal homicide as being held at the Carbon County Correctional Facility. Julissa, it is awful. I don't know what the guy was thinking. Mr. Ruck Gaming, how's it going? Carrie, I am doing a test. That's the reason why the screen is this way. I cannot change it once I start streaming, unfortunately. Layton Borough Police said later state police respond to an active assault incident Monday in Carbon Canyon County, in which I have a Carbon Canyon by me, in which a man attacked another man using a knife and a chainsaw. Officials found Edward Whitehead Jr., 59, who lived at the home, had been struck in the head with the weapons by a man who was wearing a mask and a black costume-like garment, consistent with the Scream movie character, according to the criminal complaint. Whitehead was taken to the hospital where he passed away from his injuries. State police said he had cuts on his right arm and on the right side of his head above his eyebrow, wounds on his hands that were consistent with defensive wounds, and a large bleeding wound in the right side of his head, the complaint said. Security video showed the suspect leaving. That is a lot of information that the police gave out. Usually they don't give out that much. Security video showed the suspect leaving Whitehead's home through the back door and entering the rear door of a home next door where neighbors said Moyer lived, the complainant said. Police established a perimeter around Moyer's home and communicated with him through a notebook, that the complaint said. Here, you guys can see my mug. Moyer also admitted to stabbing Whitehead in the head, returning to his home to watch a movie until police arrived, and hiding the chainsaw in the attic and the knife in his desk drawer, according to the criminal complaint. Police said in a news release that the investigation is active and there are no threats to the surrounding community. So why? This is crazy. Why would you think this guy would do this? Like he said, he initially went into the house to scare his neighbors. Like, what prompted him to take his life? Like, I don't get it. Elaine, what's up? Tyrana's like, oh my God, what's wrong with these people? Jen's like, what the hell is wrong with these people? And the guy's like 30 years old. Like, what? What makes him think? And I'm sure Edward Whitehead did not do anything wrong. He was probably I don't know what the backstory is. It doesn't say what the backstory is, but what? I don't get it. I get having a little bit of fun and trying to spook your neighbor, but he went too far. Like, I don't understand why. That's what I'm wondering, Dusty. Dusty's saying, was he watching Scream and decided to try it? That's what I was wondering, because it says he went home and watched a movie. Osiris goes, this is why we have ring cams. But luckily, there was someone that saw him go to the next door house. They actually saw him go from one house to the next. So there was someone there that actually saw him leaving the house. So that's what pointed the authorities to him, which is a good thing. Julissa goes, some people are insane. They are. Wink Sheep Bear is saying it starts in the head in the fantasy world. Only thing Osiris is saying that is why we have ring cams. Yeah, but I heard with ring cams that they're easily hacked. Because I watch those videos about ring cams. I'm like kind of obsessed with them. And some of them show like people hacking into the ring cams and they're talking to the people on the cameras. That would freak the hell out of me. That's why I'm kind of glad I don't have a ring camera. Cheryl, thank you for the super sticker. Hearts for Cheryl, guys. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Wink Shapeberry goes, he thought about it a long time. Maybe he had this in his mind for a long time, because where did he get the big old Texas chainsaw? Or he was watching that movie. We don't know what movie he was watching because it doesn't say. Which is crazy. I don't get it. I don't think anybody's going to really know. I don't even think he knows why he did it. Carrot! Thank you for being a member or becoming a member of the Wolf Pack. Hearts for Carrot as well. Thank you, Carrot. AKA Heather, the other Heather. For anyone that doesn't know who Carrot is in the chat. Jen says he either got it from a store or a pawn shop, or it could have been his neighbors too. He could have just thought like his neighbors could have been cutting logs, and he could have just like walked over with it and he was gonna scare him with it. But like, why? Allison Rose, thank you for being a member of the Wolfpack for 10 months. Hello, Wolfpack. Thank you, Allison Rose. Hearts for Allison Rose as well. Allison Rose, that reminds me of the Gin Blossom song, Allison Rhodes. Great song, by the way. But we will never know, and I'm surprised that this article had that much detail about what occurred, because usually the police are they don't usually give out too much to the public. But I guess because they had caught him, they were able to, they gave a little more than Melissa Smith goes, I'm not sure how rural the area is, but some areas of PA give me a Deliverance vibe. Hey, Osiris, that's a good song by Jim Blossoms. Hey, Jealousy. I never got to see them live back in the day. I was a huge fan of them, and I never got to see them live. Checking something real quick. D Nice goes, love that song. Great song. It is a great song. Allison Rose says, I love Jim Blossoms as a 90s child. That is a true compliment to be compared to. It's a great song. I gotta say Allison Rose because I want to say Rhodes. All right, guys, do you remember? I know that. Do you remember that singer who married a ghost. I believe his name was Eduardo or Edward. I don't remember his name. Eduardo. Osiris, I'm a little bit older than that. Osiris says, if you know Jim Blossom, then you got to be around my age, 42. All right. Well, she is back in the news again. And this is the Daily Star, which I'm pretty sure is like a it's like a tabloid site, and I kind of take tabloid sites with a grain of salt, but I find people that marry ghosts fascinating. Or dating a ghost. Like in a previous couple was dating a ghost, or she was dating a ghost, but her girlfriend wasn't. D Nice goes, lies, Lisa, you're 35. Thank you, D Nice. I appreciate that. So, this is from the Daily Star, and it goes, singer who divorced spook wants government-funded Ghostbusters 4th emergency service. Rishi Sunak and the UK government are being urged by ghost-marrying singer Brocarde, because I've never heard of her, to make a real-life Ghostbuster service and for it to be classified as an emergency. The government should make ghost busting an emergency service, a paranormal investigator says. And this article came out today. The wacky request for publicity-funded demon-busting authority has been made by spooky singer-songwriter Brocarde. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly. Julissa goes, sometimes I wonder if these people just want attention. That is what I'm wondering, because I don't get how you marry a ghost. I just don't. Jen goes, what happens when they have a fight? Well, I mean, well, she kicks him out? I don't know. Like, what do you do in that situation? Yes, Carrot. She married, and this isn't the first one. There's another one that married a pirate. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you. The rocker, 40, who divorced her ghost husband, Eduardo, the spirit of a Victorian soldier, during a painful exorcism last summer. She says painful. Made the astonishing claim to the Daily Star Sunday. The Just Another anthem singer from Oxfordshire said, during my most haunted days, I would have loved the luxury of calling a Ghostbusters team to save the day. But I mean, if that's the case, wouldn't you just bring a priest to bless sage? You could do it yourself. You could use sage. You don't really need Ghostbuster. Cheryl goes, I'm sorry, this lady needs help. Lisa Boo would be easy to give the silent treatment. Yeah, you know what? Eduardo could have just like gone in his corner and not made a peep. Allison Rose says this is a whole lot to take in and process. She married him, but now that they are divorced, she wants him ghostbusted. I don't get it. I don't know if she wants the ghostbusting, I guess. So if this happens to someone else, I guess. But I don't know who else would marry a ghost. I need to fish goes, the Spirit of Christ compels them. Anne goes, and holy water monks again, all hands on deck. I was like, there's other things she could have done. Sadly, in real life, we don't have a service like that to utilize, but I definitely think it's needed, Perhaps the government should put together a squad of Ghostbusters that the public can call on in spiritual emergency, because exorcists are pretty hardcore and psychic mediums are a minefield. It would be great to have a one-stop shop of trusted busters who can banish any demons and additional emergency service. It's not like Ghostbusters, lady. You can't just go in there and take them with your proton pack and put them away. That's not how it works. I'm sorry. Carrot Ghost Capone calls BS, or could I claim a ghost on my tax return? Exactly. What if I decided to marry a ghost? Can I put that I'm married? and my husband died in 1880. You know what I mean? This fascinates me. I'm sorry, guys. This fascinates me. I can't explain this, but it fascinates me. The visual artist, performer, and designer recently announced last week she was embarking on a new career as a paranormal investigator. So she's kicking her singing career to the side? After years of being haunted by the ghost of a love cheat Victorian soldier, which I think she said was cheating on her with Madonna. Yes, she said that. Brocarde, because I'm not sure how she pronounces her name, has now decided to fully dedicate herself to life in the supernatural world. So she had an epiphany. And nothing wrong with that, though, because I know a lot of people get into paranormal because they've had some sort of experience. And using her newly acquired psychic powers, okay, now the plot thickens. Brocarde reckons she has already enjoyed a snog with the ghost of Oscar Wilde and has been attacked by the ghost of a spiteful hangman. The announcement comes in the same week that Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was released across the UK, the hotly awaited sequel in 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is out in theaters now. Otherworldly, Brocarde, who has 185,000 Instagram followers, added of her plan. Perhaps Paul Rudd, Dan Aykroyd, and the cast can put in a good word with Rishi Sunak and make it happen. All right, guys, what do you think of Brocarde? Wake Shape Berry, actually, I have not seen the new Ghostbusters yet. D Nice goes, imagine adopting a child and saying your father is a ghost. He died in the 1700s. Exactly. Wake Sheepberry goes, I have an unstable thermonuclear reactor on my back. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Bernadette goes, yay, and I have 20 ghost IDs to claim. Nerd Report in the house. Jen saying, I think she drank too much Bacardi. Bia Stone saying she's Doolulu. Carrot is going, that is stupid. I kind of agree, because you can't just call someone like the way she said it in the article was like they could come in and take away your ghost just like that, like a Ghostbuster does. And that's not how it works. But it fascinates me. That's why I'm always reading about people marrying ghosts, because I just don't understand it. I do not. Being that she's a singer, I don't know if she's like an independent, because I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's an independent singer, so maybe she's doing this to get attention. It's a possibility, because there's people out there that would do anything for attention or for some notoriety, for a little bit of fame. So I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what's going through her head, to be honest with you. Or about the other article I read about the girl saying, I'm dating a ghost. This one wasn't married to a ghost. She was dating a ghost. And she had another girlfriend on top of that. So I was like, what? Anne goes, but they are in love. Why remove the ghostly lover? You know what happened in a previous article? And I think I did say it on another stream. She did say she caught him cheating with Marilyn Monroe. And that's why she wanted a divorce. He was cheating on her with Marilyn Monroe, might I add. Bernadette, is this the one that married a... No, Bernadette, this is another one. There is another woman that married a pirate ghost, but I think she's still married to him. I don't think she divorced the one that's married to the pirate ghost. I think she's still married to the pirate ghost. Because I even looked, I searched it, married to a ghost, just to see if anything pops up, like anyone new, like dating a ghost or whatnot, because this fascinates me. I just don't understand why. I just don't understand it, but it fascinates me at the same time. Wake Chief Barry goes, so she was ghosting her lover for ghost. Carrot goes, ghost love or hate you, but not love you. But hey, maybe, I mean, sometimes dealing with the dead is better than the living. So maybe she likes the silent types. I don't know. But I don't know how she figured out he was cheating on her with Marilyn Monroe. That's another story in itself. So guys, what do you think of Brooke Carday? What do you think is her message, or like, or is she trying to get attention, or is she has some screws loose? I don't know how else to explain it. Or she likes the silent types. If that's the case, you might as well marry Jason from Friday the 13th. He's the big silent type. He'll always catch up to you while you're running and he's walking, and we never know how, but he always catches up to you. he lurks in the shadows. So hey, you know what? I need to fish goes ghost bro was trying to make her jealous. D Nice goes, what if these people are reincarnated or still connected to their past fling, who is still in limbo, stuck as a ghost? Something to think about. Oh, I didn't think about that. That could be an explanation. That's a good one, D Nice. I did not think of that. Or past lives. Like she could be a past life lover of this Eduardo, and that's how they connected. But I don't get how you would communicate with him. But then she says she has a new psychic ability in this article. So I am... Cheryl goes, she wants the attention. Anne goes, cray cray is all I have to say. I need to fish goes, I relate to Jason Voorhees, but at least his mommy loves him. Hey, Jason's cool. In fact, I got my Friday the 13th VHS shirt on. Melissa Smith goes, if you needed a Ghostbuster in the UK, would you leave out the as they do with hospitals? Would you say I'm going to ghost buster? I need to fish goes, Jason has too many body decorations. Joanne goes, different dimensions. I think I'm going to go with Anne. I think she's a little cray-cray, but I am fascinated. Like, I just want to know what's going through their head. I don't know why. I just want to like deep dive into it. Like, what's going through your head or what have you been through that made you go that direction to want to marry a ghost. She had a actual ceremony and everything. That's what the crazy thing is. And the divorce obviously was exorcism. So I just don't know with that one. I mean, who did she tell to get that exorcism? I mean, usually you have to go through the church, right? To get an exorcism. So she was just imagine she's walking in the church and goes, "I need an exorcism. My husband, his name is Eduardo. He is a ghost, but he cheated on me with Marilyn Monroe, and I just don't want him around anymore, and he keeps lurking." D Nice goes, schizophrenia is wild. I hope and pray for those dealing with. Yes, it is. I've seen there's video circulating of a guy that it's his coping mechanism. He takes video to show that what he's seeing is if it to prove to himself if it's a hallucination or if it's an actual person. Cheryl goes, what is her new paranormal thing she could do? She said she's a psychic. Now she has psychic ability. That is what the article said. I am not sure, Joanne, if there were wedding photos. Bernadette goes, if only we could do all exorcism divorces. I know. Wouldn't that be easy? Depending on how they did it. I don't know if there's wedding photos. Hold on, let me look. I need a picture. Let me see if I can find a picture. I know it's going to get a little weird here, but I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah, it is. Is it this one? I guess there kind of is a wedding photo, which is her dressed up all in black. So there kind of is of the ceremony. Kind of. Heather, whatever. What's up? Joanne goes, was the ghost wearing a tux, or at least is she? I don't think it was just her standing there. I don't even know if he showed up. Bernadette goes, there probably are, but with just her, she's like, he's right next to me. I am not. Julius is asking, was there an actual wedding ceremony and a marriage license? I'm not sure about the marriage license, but it looks like there was an actual ceremony. There looks like. But don't quote me. I'm not 100% sure. D Nice goes, the ghost is in his birthday suit. Well, we will never know. We can't see him. It is odd. Very odd. But I find it fascinating. Jen goes, maybe the ghost was 3 sheets to the wind during the ceremony. Heather, whatever goes, she scared him away. Matthew goes, or his death day suit. Yes, that's probably what he was wearing. He was I think she said he was a Victorian soldier, if I'm not mistaken. Gunner Girl goes, that's so weird. It is. It is. But I find it's weird and fascinating all at once. And it is actually in a new, I mean, it's on a tabloid site, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt, but the fact that it is on the tabloid site just makes it fascinating to me. I don't know about you guys. Aaron goes, "My first marriage was dead on arrival, but I didn't know that." Heather, whatever. You guys could read her quote. I also have another article that kind of which I thought I just kind of found. It kind of goes with, and it's from the Toronto Star. And it goes, "She married a ghost, then she divorced him via an exorcism. Turns out that's a trend." And it's an older article, but I kind of found it interesting. It kind of revamps what I was talking about in the first article. Which it's weird because when you look it up, it says the dangers of marrying a ghost, like on the tab. So I thought that was kind of like, what? So it goes on. It might be time to scrap till death do us part. That wedding vows make no sense if the groom is dead. I didn't intend for this to become Paranormal Week here in the East York bunker. Yesterday it was UFOs. Today it's a British singer who divorced ghosts. What should we discuss tomorrow? Remote viewing? Cryptozoology? Barbenheimer? The British? This is just a reminder. This is an article that came out in July 19th, 2023. So it's a bit of an old article. The British singer's name Brocardi. She is not to be confused with Bacardi, though I will admit to downing a rum and coke to power through headlines such as "Woman married to Victorian ghost has now divorced him through exorcism." All right, I like this person already. Who wrote this? Vinay Minion or Minon. The Daily Mail provided a tidy synopsis. Brocardi, 40, from Oxfordshire, insists she met soldier Eduardo after the ghoul burst into her bedroom one night during a storm, but after their wedding on Halloween, I was going to say on Hollywood, on Halloween 2022, things went downhill. Dun, dun, dun. The devilishly handsome Eduardo became fiendishly aggressive. He taunted Brocardi with the sound of a screaming baby. He was possessive. This seemed a bit much since Brocardi suspected Eduardo was cheating on her with Marilyn Monroe. Okay, I was right. Plus, he never took out the rubbish and mocked The Conjuring. Oh my God! The ghost mocked The Conjuring! The world is ended! And he didn't take out the trash. Oh, wow. Riccardi, I don't think he can physically take out the trash. I like this author of this article already. So now we know there is a Splitsville in the afterlife. And just when I was looking forward to one day courting Amelia Earhart, I don't know why my counterparts across the pond are playing this straight. This ghost divorce reeks of a PR stunt. Then again, based on Bacardi's Instagram, she does look like someone who might fall for a ghost. I'm loving this author of this article. She's leaning hard into the goth vibe. She reminds me of girls in my high school who wore all black, modeled their makeup on raccoons, had double-digit ear piercings, and would skip chemistry to have a seance behind the porta-poles while blasting The Cure. Oh my God. The divorce rate among the living is, close to 50%? It's 100% when one partner is dead. I have a fuzzy memory of a dude who married a ghost and had to call it off because she kept nagging him about the way he slurped spaghetti. Then there was this Tibbet in the Irish Mirror 2 years ago. Amanda Large, who split with the ghost. Oh, I guess she split. Who split with the ghost of Captain Jack Teague, has revealed that she now moved on with a real man who's very much alive. So I guess she did split. The other woman split with her pirate husband as well. Poor real man. Imagine if your girlfriend's ex was a 300-year-old pirate. Ahoy, you'd say awkwardly, trying to initiate pillow talk. Shiver me timbers. Scoff all you want. I'm telling you, there will be more invisible hooking up in the future. You'll have a dinner party and one chair will be left empty because one of your friends arrived with Jane Austen. Or you're sitting in the park and squinting with disbelief as a young lass hugs and French kisses a weeping willow. That's right. It's not just apparitions that are marriage material. A woman really once married a tree. Other famous cases of so-called objectophilia include women who marry a roller coaster, chandelier, train stations, dolphin, Eiffel Tower, ... I feel sorry for the woman who married the Berlin Wall. Her husband was filled by tectonic social change. I can only pray nobody ever said I do to the Hindenburg. Is there an inanimate object you'd marry? I once had a plasma lamp that was oddly sensational, and I might be willing to leave my wife for the keg. We could have a great life together. Most people will never buy an engagement ring for a ghost or a vintage Birkin bag. But make no mistake, human relationships are headed towards a rough patch. Big tech sees simulated love as a business opportunity. In R&D labs outside of Tokyo right now, scientists are dreaming up ways to conjure the soulmates of tomorrow. And yes, they are. I've seen some videos. You think Tinder is disoriented now? Wait until the robots are swiping right. I once wrote a column about a bodybuilder who married his sex doll. It seemed weird just 3 years ago. Now, if I went to someone's house and his android bride was watching Netflix, it might not even register until I exchange pleasantries with Maxine and suddenly notice she never blinks. We have more gadgets in our lives than people. Those gadgets will soon know us. In the modern context of AI, her is a doc, ex machina is a cautionary tale. In the future, normal will become paranormal. We already know people who would give up their spouse before giving up their phone. What chance will a human have when competing against a drop-dead gorgeous cyborg with perfect recall, unlimited skills, zero mood swings, and who exists to please? In a panic, I told my wife we should renew our vows for the afterlife. She frowned and stared into the middle distance. She might be holding out for David Bowie. So, Bricardi, give Eduardo another chance. For you, him, all of us. Your bizarre love story was a bulwark against big tech's diabolical love plans. Remember when you first met Eduardo on that stormy night and he breathed warmly on the back of your neck? Remember the flea market when he slipped on a banana peel and how you both laughed? Give that ghost marriage another go. Lead the spiritual way before we are trapped in loveless unions while talking Dysons. Guys, what did you think of that article? Oh my God. That was a diamond in disguise. Dusty Langos reminds me of that old TV show, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. Wake Shave Berry goes the episode of Jerry Springer when a guy married a horse. Anne is asking, who would you want to date that is dead? That is a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. I have to think about that one. Julissa goes, great article, quite humorous. It was. I was laughing. Bia Stone goes, he's great. Honey goes, they are using AI memories like thoughts recording into a computer to make an interactive robot of a dead person. They are, like, Japan is going crazy with robotics right now. I'll put that question that Anne asked back to you guys. Who would you want to date that is dead? Melissa goes, did she research if a word or story was true? How would she know he was handsome? He could have been a catfish ghost. He could have, Melissa. I love that. Honey goes, Alan Rickman. Heather Whatever goes, no robot. Dusty Lane goes, Paul Newman. Oh, good choices. Carrot goes, nobody. Honey also said Vincent Price. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know if I would date Vincent Price, but I would have loved to meet Vincent Price. Wake Sheaf Barry goes, Marilyn Monroe is the obvious one for guys. I mean, I wouldn't mind have met Marilyn Monroe. Joanne goes, Alan. Heather Whatever goes, Alan. James, no one's going to put James Dean? Maybe not to meet, but maybe not to date, but to meet. James Dean would be super cool. Bogart. Cheryl King goes, Patrick Swayze. Ooh, that's a good one. Heather Whatever goes, Patrick could dance. Good point. Melissa Smith goes, Matthew Perry. So sad how he just passed away recently. Honey goes, Marilyn was actually smart, but really messed up because of all the abuse she suffered as a child. Julissa goes, it's hard enough dating a live person. I'll pass on the dead. I agree with that one, Julissa. It is. It's hard enough dating. But I mean, I guess if you like the silent type. Wake Shapeberry goes, James Dean was gay, though, so he wouldn't be interested in ladies. I did not know that. But I wouldn't have mind not to date him, but to meet him. Because I don't think I would date any of the guys. I would want to meet them. Honey goes, I would love to meet and have dinner with Albert Einstein. That would be an awesome dinner. Melissa Smith goes, Leonard Nimoy. Heather Whatever goes, I can't remember the movie was Captain Blood. I am not familiar with that movie. Carrot goes, ghosts do stink if they want. All right, guys, I got the next article, which is something from Weird, New Jersey. This came across when I was doing my Google search. It says Ginny Jump, Ghost Lake, and the Fairy Hole. One of the most scenic areas in our state is also one of the most storied. It's a park in the Great Meadows Hope area named Ginny Jump State Forest, and it features large glacial boulders and stone outcroppings carved by glaciers 21,000 years ago. In addition to its many campsites and extensive hiking trails, it boasts some of New Jersey's oldest and best known folktales. And I love folktales. It's one of my favorite things. According to legend, Ginny was the 9-year-old daughter of early settlers of the area. One day, while out picking berries near the precipice of a mountain, the young girl was surprised by a band of Lenape Indians, and apologize for butchering that, of the Minisi tribe who snuck up on her through the forest intending to abduct or kill her. Ginny ran for her life screaming, alarming her father, who was working in the field below. "Jump, Ginny, jump," he hollered up to her, and poor Ginny leaped to her death, or so the story says. Some have speculated that the name could simply be an angelicized form of the area's original Lenape name. Located adjacent to Ginny Jump Mountain, there's an old-timey kiddie amusement park called the Land of Make-Believe, which not only claims to contain the cliff that Ginny jumped from, but they even have the house that she and her family supposedly lived in. The white farmhouse circa 1748 is located at the bottom of the ravine where Ginny took her final plunge, right beside a waterfall named Ginny Jump Falls. A loudspeaker mounted on the outside of the building plays a recording that recounts the tragic tale over and over again for visitors. Gunner Girl added Carl Weathers. Oh, I was gonna give a shout out. I know I'm going a little ADD-ish. I don't know if you guys, I grew up watching Iron Eagle with my dad, and to find out that, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Louis Gossett Jr. passed away the other day. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. And he was one of the actors that I grew up watching. I grew up watching Iron Eagle, and he was pretty much in a lot of the movies I would watch growing up. So to see that he passed away, it was kind of like, wow. So rest in peace, Louis Gossett Jr. I'm not sure if anyone knows who he is. He was also in The Color Purple, I believe. And Star Trek? I don't remember him in that, but I do remember I would watch him in Iron Eagle. And I remember he was in recently, he was like it was a couple years ago, he was in a TV series, a cable television series that Trent Reznor did the music to, but I don't remember the name of the series. Matthew goes, it was Stargate, SG-1. Okay, I didn't know because I didn't really watch Stargate. But I wanted to give him a shout out. Honey goes, I remember him, may his soul soar upon the wings of ravens to the heavens. Trent Reznor is basically 9 Inch Nails. So whenever I say he's pretty much 9 Inch Nails, I feel like whenever they talk about 9 Inch Nails, it's Trent Reznor. So I always just say Trent Reznor. And to get back to this sad legend of Ginny Jump in New Jersey, not far away from Jumpin' Ginny's house, you'll find one of the most unsettling attractions that the park has to offer. At first, the two overstuffed scarecrows standing by the side of the walk look pleasant enough. One is supposed to be a man dressed in a ratty old pair of overalls, a flannel shirt, and a straw hat. The other is apparently his wife, wearing a weather-beaten denim dress and gingham shawl. The sign posted next to the pair reads, "Talk to Colonel Corn, but please don't touch him." You can actually ask them the legend of Ginny Jump, and they'll talk back to you. The figures are rigged up to some sort of audio intercom, which is monitored by an unseen park employee hiding someplace nearby. At the eastern boundary of the forest, you'll find Shades of Death Road. Ugh, that name of that road is unsettling. Which winds its way past Murder's Mountain and through Haunted Hollow on its way up to Ghost Lake. Okay, I'm liking this place. There's been much speculation as to the origins of the name Ghost Lake. Some have credited the infamous moniker to a few local citizens' flair for melodrama. The body of water was created in the early 20th century when two local men named William Corse Jr. and Lennon G. Hull dammed a creek that ran through the narrow valley between houses they had just built. They gave the lake its ghostly name for the wraith-like misty formations they often saw rising off its waters on cooler mornings. Hey, also named a nearby mountain, Murderer's Mountain, and their property, Haunted Hollow. Along the shores of Ghost Lake, you'll find a small cave known as the Fairy Hole, or Fairy, an Old English spelling of fairy. From the parking lot at Ghost Lake, follow the rocky trail along this place. Sounds like a place I would love to visit. I don't know about you guys. This sounds like a cool place. The rocky trail along the lake edge about 200 yards, then turns to the right and climb up steep slope to the cave. The main room of the cave is about 10 feet wide and 20 feet deep. The floor is flat and the ceiling is high enough to allow most people to stand up comfortably beyond the main chambers. The passengers continues into smaller chambers and vertical shafts. There is a natural chimney formation at the rear of the cave that contains cave crickets. When surveyed in 1918, the cave was found to contain pottery shards, flint, broken arrowheads, remnants of a fire pit, and other evidence of Indian occupation. It was concluded that the Fairy Hole was probably not a permanent dwelling, but may have been used as a simple resting place for traveling Lenape hunters. The Fairy Hole was excavated in 1936 by archaeologist Dr. Dorothy Cross of the New Jersey State Museum, who discovered 10,000 bone fragments from 23 different species of animals. Among them was the tooth of a giant extinct beaver that had been found nowhere else in the state. Whether all the legends of Ginny Jump are true or not, no one can say for sure, but the forests and mountains did get their curious monikers somehow, and you'll never get the real story from poor Ginny herself. What do you guys think of this place? This place looks like a cool place. I would love to visit it, actually. Sounds like an interesting place. Wank Shave Barrett says the Fairy Hole. Invisible Rose, what's up? Gunner Girl goes, what's happening? You're talking so fast. I'm just reading. I can talk today. Carrot, thank you for your PayPal. Hearts for Carrot. Guys, thank you, Carrot. I appreciate it. And I like how you put carrot. Because my phone does not make noises anymore, which is weird. Joanne goes, lots of images on Google. It's a beautiful place as well. Even with the ghostly, with the legend and the cool names. All right, guys, my next article, it could be horror-ish. Feel like it's more true crime, but I wanted to share it because I couldn't believe what I was reading. I knew a little bit about it because it happened here in California, but I didn't know this other part about it. This is from All That's Interesting. It's a little more true crime-ish, but I always felt true crime and horror are hand in hand. But I feel like this is horrific in its case. It goes, California man arrested for allegedly stealing, which I knew about, and eating, which I did not know about, the leg of a pedestrian killed by a train. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. This is horrific. And I guess he was walking down the street with it. That's what the worst part is. 27-year-old Rosendo Teles was arrested after he allegedly stole a severed human leg from the scene of a train collision and proceeded to eat it while walking down the street. It's horrible. A still from a video posted to social media of Rosendo Teles allegedly holding and eating a severed human leg. And there's a photo of it, but I'm not showing the photo. But they blotched out the part. I'm not showing it, though, because that's horrific. A man in Kern County, California, was arrested on March 22nd, 2024, after allegedly removing human remains. I don't know who would do this. A leg, to be exact, from a location other than a cemetery. This is sad. As local news station KUTV reported, an unnamed individual was killed after they were hit by a train at an Amtrak station in Wasco, California, which is sad. That's horrible. But the fact that this person did this is even worse. Their leg was also severed in the incident, and witness allegedly saw 27-year-old Rosendo Teles remove the body part from the scene. Yes, like a dusty goes like a yes. Like a Disney, yes. Like a Disney drumstick. Julissa, I'm not sure. I don't think he did. Julissa's asking, did Lewis tell us about this? I feel like we heard this already. I don't think he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. Then a crew laying concrete nearby reported something even more disturbing. Teles, which I did not know this part. I knew about the first part, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, what am I reading? Began eating the leg. I'm assuming it's saying in this article, saying the disturbing video of the incident. So there might be a video out there, but I'm not showing it because that's just, that is just like, he's disrespecting the person that died in the crash. I feel like who would do that? Cheryl King goes, that poor person's family. Exactly. Tyrana going, love your hat. Thank you, Tyrana. I appreciate that. I'm not sure from where, but he walked this way and he was waving a person's leg and he started chewing on it over there. He was biting it and he was hitting it against the wall and everything. And Jose Ibarra, a worker who saw this grisly incident, I don't think if I saw that, I wouldn't believe what I was seeing. One witness even captured video of a man reported to be Teles carrying the leg and swinging it around. On the video that we have, it shows clearly that he started chewing on the leg and everything, Ibarra said. So there, I guess there is a video, but I am not playing it. It says the video was acquired by ABC 23 Bakersfield, among other outlets. Dusty goes, zombie cannibal. Yes, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking as he is like, oh, I don't even want to think about that. Wink Shakespeare's asking, you remember the serial killer who used the trains? No, I don't. Which Wink Shakespeare, which one was that one? Joanne goes, tenderizing the Oh, then they go on. On the leg, the skin was hanging. You could see the bone, continued Ibarra. Employees of the Amtrak station quickly called police to inform them of the ghastly crime. Investigators arrived on scene shortly after to arrest Teles. Tellez was taken into custody without incident, and he's been charged with moving a body part from a place that is not a cemetery, disposing of human remains in a place that is not a cemetery, and destroying or concealing evidence and resisting law enforcement. Rosendo Tellez, the alleged perpetrator. Days after the incident, KGET published a report revealing more information about Tellez, though there is much that remains unknown about the man. Residents of Wasco reported that Tellez was homeless and often slept in a doorway near Wasco Liquor. One employee of the store said Tellez was a regular customer who entered the shop multiple times a day to purchase food or beer. In fact, security camera footage from the business shows Tellez entering and making a purchase just hours before the incident occurred. The employee said she never would have expected Tellez to do something so heinous. No, it can't be him, she thought when she first heard the news. Tellez reportedly took the severed limb because he thought the leg was his, according to court records. He has several other misdemeanor convictions, mostly related to drugs and alcohol, but he's never faced charges like this. I don't think anybody has. I've never heard of anything like this. Besides, I've never heard anything of someone just grabbing something from an accident. That the Kern County Sheriff officer stated that they cannot provide any more information about this case at this time. I mean, obviously the liquor store patron or worker, it didn't say if it was the owner, but worker was in shock after hearing about what this man did. So I'm wondering if Heather, whatever goes, imagine having to arrest him. Melissa Smith goes, was he shopping for the perfect wine pairing? Wake Shape Berry goes, the railroad killer, Angel. Oh, you know what? Yes, I did hear about him. Angel Resendez. I did. Oh my God, I saw that documentary. That was a good documentary. I did. Oh, okay. Yes, I know which one you're talking about, Wink Shape Berry. Joanne goes, oh, this is crazy. A bus passenger cut off another passenger's head on a bus ride on Canada a couple of years ago. Wow. But that's crazy. I don't know. He is homeless, so I'm not sure. Because it doesn't say he has any mental problems. It just says, it just basically says the liquor store that he would walk into, the person, the worker, I'm not sure if it was the owner, said they couldn't believe that he would do this. So he doesn't seem like the person that would do this. So I'm assuming that he would walk in and be totally normal. So I'm not sure what would have set him off. But it's saying in the article that he thought the leg was his. So I don't know. It just makes no sense. I just couldn't believe what I was reading when I saw this. But I did not know he was eating it. I just knew that he took it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I would have, I feel sorry for the family of this person. I mean, you're already going through what happened, and then you're hearing this, like, come on. Cheryl goes, why would he think the leg was his? I am not sure, Cheryl, because it doesn't really explain in the article, like, anything about who he is. It just said that he was homeless, and then the liquor store he would go into it all the time. So obviously he wasn't, he was welcome. So it wasn't like I want to say he wasn't crazy, but if you thought the leg was his, then he had some I don't know. Bia Stone goes, that bus guy is free and living in my city. Oh my gosh, Bia Stone, that's crazy. But it did say, like Heather, whatever says, Booze does that. It did say that he would go in there and buy beer. So Maybe he had a little too much, and that was why he thought it was his, which would make sense. It would make sense there, but it's just, I just feel like it's sad. It's sad to read stories like that. No, Heather, whatever. He was not trying to put it back on. And if he thought it was his, why was he eating it? That's what my thing is. You wouldn't eat your leg. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that one. That one's like kind of gruesome and horrific in its own way. Tyranna, that's what I think. I want to say that's what happened. He had too much to drink, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. That article did not say anything. Didn't say anything about his mental state. Didn't say anything about. It didn't go into details, in other words. Julissa goes, he must have been on more than alcohol. We'll never know. We'll never know. But he will always be remembered, though, unfortunately, for the wrong things. I don't know how, if you were a judge, how you would. I don't think anybody has ever. I've never read about anyone ever doing that. Sure, I know it does. Cheryl's saying it sounds like a Saw movie. It does. It does. Dusty Lane goes, I don't think Beer would do that. He's a psycho. Melissa goes, I agree. Probably had some of that other stuff besides beer. What's up, Leonore? Let me make sure I did this right. Okay. Something made him go cuckoo. All right, I got it. One more story, and we'll open up for question and answer, and then we'll head over to Nerd Report Daily with Brandon and Bernadette. As Lewis says, you'll be able to hear them say babe. Nothing wrong with it. Wake Shaper goes, he went cuckoo bananas. Leonore also said crazy cuckoo. Definitely. Heather, whatever, suggesting maybe moldy food before or something. Possibility. It like I said, it didn't give us that article really didn't delve deep into who that person is. So we don't really know. It's all speculation as to why he did it. So this one's from All That's Interesting. The history of another article from All That's Interesting. The history of the Codex Gigas, the massive medieval manuscript known as the Devil's Bible. Have you guys heard of I've never heard of this, so I thought this was kind of interesting. Have any of you guys heard of the Devil's Bible? So the 620-page Codex Gigas, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, stands nearly 36 inches high and may have taken 25 years for a single monk to write. Wake Sheep Barry has heard of it. Leonora has heard of it. The Codex Gigas is the largest surviving medieval manuscript in the world. The massive volume comprises both the Old and New Testaments alongside an assortment of other historical texts and is held at the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm. Not Stockton. Bernadette has, Cheryl has. Melissa goes, this is called Dianetics. The 165-pound book is about 35 inches high, 20 inches wide, and 8.7 inches thick. In fact, it's so large that it's reportedly took the vellum of 160 donkeys to create the manuscript's 620 pages. But while its enormous size is indeed impressive, the Codex Gigas is perhaps better known for the striking 19-inch high depiction of the devil that appears on its 577th page. It's the illustration that lends the book its nickname, the Devil's Bible, which I have never heard of. This is kind of cool. There are several versions of the legend behind the creation of the Codex Gigas, but each is equally intriguing and mysterious. The history of the giant manuscript. According to the National Library of Sweden, the Codex was likely written between 1204 and 1230 CE. The first owner on record was the Podlasie Monastery in Bohemia, but it's unknown if that's where the manuscript was originally created. Around 1295, as detailed in note in the front of the Codex, the monks of, I know I'm butchering this, Podlasie, no, I'm trying to say it in French, pledged the book to another monastery in Sedlec, had yet another monastery purchased it later that year. I shouldn't worry about my pronunciation because I've watched Slapped Ham and he said Bogota as Bogota. So I don't feel so bad, but I like to pronounce things correctly. It's kind of my pet peeve, I guess. Then, in 1594, the Devil's Bible fell into the hands of Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II. He reportedly borrowed the book from the monastery, but he had no intentions of ever returning it. At the time, it had become a prized collector's item. That thing is huge. Wake Shape Berry goes, I'm assuming it's just canonical text. Lots of books were excluded from the Bible. Just 50 years later, the Swedish army stole the Codex Gigas during the siege of Prague at the end of the 30 Years' War. Looters brought the manuscript back to Stockholm, where it eventually ended up in the library of the Royal Palace. One tale about the history of the Devil's Bible notes that there was a fire in the castle in 1697. The librarian threw it out of a window to save it, and the massive book injured a bystander below as it fell. Thank you, Leonore, for your super sticker. Hearts for Leonore, guys. Thank you, Leonore, for the support. You're awesome. In 1878, the treasured manuscript was moved to the National Library of Sweden, where it sits to this day in a glass box illuminated for the world to see. That would be cool to see. I don't know why. The legend behind the Codex Gigas. While the actual history of the Codex Gigas is fascinating enough, the legend about the creation are even more captivating. In the 13th century, a Benedictine monk named Herman the Recluse resided at a monastery near the town of Trudin in Bohemia, modern-day Czechia. I want to say it's Czechia. All versions of the legend state that Herman broke his monastic vows, but accounts vary on what his punishment was. Some say that he was sentenced to immurement, locked away behind a wall and sealed in until he could complete a book that contained all earthly knowledge. The process of live entombment wasn't exactly unusual for monks or nuns who broke their vows, though it didn't normally come with such a lofty stipulation. Wow. According to Heritage Daily, Another version of the legend tells that Herman was originally going to be immured and left to die of dehydration and starvation, but he begged the abbot for 1 year to complete the text and earn his freedom. Yet another version states that Herman had just a single night to create the expansive manuscript. Regardless of his exact punishment, Herman began to work on the compendium that would eventually become the Codex Gigas. As midnight approached on the last night of the year, or as dawn broke at the end of the single night, he worked depending on the version of the story. The monk knew he could not finish the book. At that moment, the devil himself appeared to Herman, and the two made a deal. The monk's soul in exchange for the ability to complete the codex. Some even say the large full-page illustration of the devil on page 577 of the manuscript may in fact have been drawn as a way of thanking the unholy spirit for his help in completing the task and thus saving Herman's life. However, much about the legend is speculative. The book was likely handwritten by a single monk, but whether or not that man really was Herman the recluse is still up for debate. What is inside the Devil's Bible? While the validity of Herman's plight to create the Codex Gigas may be nothing more than a legend, it doesn't make the manuscript itself any less impressive. As the National Library of Sweden highlights, writing the Devil's Bible was no small feat. Even if the scribe worked for 6 hours per day and 6 days per week, it would have taken him at least 5 years to complete. If the creator was a monk, as many have suggested, he would likely have only been able to work on that book for about 3 hours a day, meaning it would have taken him about 10 years to write the Codex Gigas. This doesn't even factor in the multitude of illustrations or the possibility that the scribe may have first lined the pages to guide his writing. All things considered, it may very well have taken a single monk 20 or 30 years to complete the Devil's Bible. No matter how you look at it, the Codex Gigas is impressive, and that's not to mention the book's actual content. Inside its massive pages are the entirety of the Old and New Testaments, written in Latin, as well as other medieval reference texts. These include 2 Jewish histories by Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews and the Jewish War. The Codex Gigas also contains Isidore of Seville's Encyclopedia Etymologies, a Bohemian chronicle written by Cosmas of Prague, a calendar, and a collection of shorter texts on topics such as grammar, medicines, and exorcisms. From its stunning white leather cover to the wealth of information and stunning illustrations inside the Codex Gigas, remains a wonder of the world even 800 years after it's created. I feel like there's nothing, I don't know, there's nothing devilish about it besides the picture of the devil in it. But I feel like what I read, there's nothing if you guys can see it, that's a little bit of what the devil in the book looks like. But I feel like that there's nothing devilish about it. Cheryl King goes, wow, that's a lot of writing. Leonora asks, have I ever read Dante's? No, I haven't. Joanne goes, and the devil wrote it. I feel like it didn't. I just feel like maybe it was just an illustration that was put into it. But it's legend, though. They're not sure. Maybe they felt like they had said Herman had asked the unholy for help to get him out of his predicament. But I feel like there's nothing unholy about that book after what I read. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys feel about the Devil's Bible? I feel like it is. I was thinking when I first heard about it, I was thinking, what is it, like a satanic Bible or something? But it's what they talk about, it isn't. What do you guys thought about it? And I know some of you have heard about it before, but what even if you had heard about it before, what were your thoughts about it? Heather, whatever goes good sales tool. Leonore, there's a lot of good legends and folklore. I love legends and folklore. Bia Stones goes, not what I thought either. Joanne goes, no, he sold his soul to finish it, so the devil finished it. That's basically what they're saying. But it's all there's different legends. So there's different stories. But none of it can be confirmed kind of thing. It's more just on folklore and word of mouth. D Nice goes, it is interesting. It's definitely not what I thought it was. Leonard goes, I do too. It's just how ironic. Cheryl King goes, I wouldn't call it the Devil's Bible. I wouldn't either. It's weird. Melissa Smith goes, so the monk turned to the devil when God wasn't helping. Reminds me of Ricky Bobby praying to all the gods and Oprah and Tom Cruise when he thought he was on fire. Wake Schaefberry goes, the Gospel of Thomas is worth checking out. Okay. Give me a second, guys. I'm looking up something. One last thing, because I know a lot of you are into Scientology. There's this news article that said Leah Remini earns her associate degree at 53. And I'm not going to read the whole entire article, but something brought out. I believe she shared it on her social media on Thursday. When did this article come out? Article came out March 29th. And she said, 3 years ago, I embarked on a terrifying journey, becoming a college student at the age of 50 after only having an 8th grade education and spending 35 years in a totalitarian cult. And since she was a teenager, Remini was a member of the Church of Scientology, but quit in 2013 and spoke out against the religion and its leaders in her 2015 memoir, Troublemaker, titled Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath. I desperately wanted a higher education for many years, but didn't move forward because I feared I was not smart enough, the actress wrote. Even though I had managed to leave Scientology, 3 decades of brainwashing still gripped my mind. But she overcome that and she was able to gain her degree. But that kind of resonated with me when I was reading it and I wanted to share it. Leonora goes, dun, dun, dun. All right, guys, I'm going to open it to questions and answers. Feel free to ask questions. Wake Schaefberry goes, they call anything that wasn't canon devil. Tyrana goes, I'm so happy for her. Julissa goes, good for her. Yeah, good for her. She was able to overcome it. But it kind of resonated with me because it shows Because I know a lot of you follow Scientology, and it shows like what she went through and what um and I had no idea with the 8th grade education, so that's why it kind of resonated with me. I was like, wow. And that it took her a while to get back in because she was so they had manipulated or brainwashed her, as she said, that it took her a while just to get over that. So, but I'm glad that she overcame it. Yeah, Lisa Boo's right. Never too late to learn. Joanne is asking who's cooking dinner tomorrow. Leonard's asking what my opinion on Leah is. I don't really. I follow some of the Scientology. I'm not like a big huge follower of it, but I do follow a little about it. I find it interesting. I do believe that she did go through something. And Scientology is definitely, to me, is a cult, and they're preying on poor people and trapping, I would say, poor people. And they're preying on people that feel like they have no place to go. But with Leah, her mom was in it, so she kind of had no choice. But I just feel like their tactics with the classes and all that stuff, that's how they're making their money. So I just feel like they're duping people. They're taking people's, I want to say, people that are down and out, and they're taking advantage of them. And that's just not right. And it's scary. Wake Shape Berry goes, look how the Scientology leader is living in a mansion, of course. And I feel sorry for those people that are still in it. Joanne, I am not sure. Joanne is asking, is her mother still in Scientology? I know she got out of it, but I'm not sure if her. I think I read somewhere that her mom started her. She had said something like her mom pulled her out of it because they were in classes to do something. I don't remember what it was. Don't quote me. And her mom pulled her out, but I'm not sure if her mom is still in it. Wake Shape Berry goes, they are exploiting people or are vulnerable. Yes, definitely. Dusty has been making s'mores. Wow, that sounds good. That actually sounds good, Dusty. D Nice goes, my parents just came back from from Japan. I can't read now all of a sudden. That's cool, D Nice. Heather Whatever goes, that's right. Her mom and her sister were, yes. Leonore goes, don't sleep in black Nikes or drink the Kool-Aid. Is it that Hell Bob, Leonore? It's crazy. I have a picture of Hell Bob that my dad had given me, and it's not because of the cult thing. that not because of the stigmatism that it has behind it. But Melissa Smith, that is a good question. Why does the whole world go crazy if they don't see the Princess of Wales for 2 months, but Shelley Miscavige hasn't been seen in years and no one cares? That's very true. D Nice is saying, when I go to the eye doctor or visit my aunt while she's on dialysis, I always flip the bird to the blue building on Sunset because cults suck. They do. Lisa Boo, thank you. Her mom is out. Thank you, Lisa Boo. I appreciate that. Her mom is out. Leah Remini's mom is out. So she did get out. So that's good. And I was watching something else where a guy, he had his face covered so you couldn't really hear what he was saying, but he was telling about his experience in Scientology. He was like, they I think he said something to the effect that they work you so hard that you don't have time to think about anything else. And that's how they get you. But I could barely the video he had a mask on because I guess he didn't want people knowing him, and I could barely understand him because he was talking through the mask. They had a mic on him too, and you still couldn't understand him. Guys, keep the questions going. But it's just sad that there are people out there, organizations out there that prey on vulnerability. It really is, because these people are really looking for help, and I feel bad for the people growing up in Scientology because they do not know any better. They do not know any better, and they're kind of isolated from the real world, so you don't really they think it's normal, and I feel sad for that. Heather, whatever goes, the stories are just awful. Slave labor, they are. Melissa Smith goes, I think the window of the blue building are covered. Can anyone confirmed? I think the other day when they were out, I don't remember who I was watching. Confident Chris. He one of the windows was actually like the blinds were up. And he like zoomed in. But I think they do cover them up but for some odd reason that one the window was open. I don't know why, which is weird. Or the blind was up. D Nice goes, science fiction religion is messed up. It is. It is. I don't know how anyone, after reading what it's about, how anyone could fall for that, but I kind of understand it, because if you're down and out and you need help and you're looking for help and you have nothing, you're gonna fall for that. And it's sad. Wake Shapeberry goes, there's 2 tiers to Scientology, celebrity and regulars. Wake Shapeberry is also saying the celebs get to keep their mansions, the regulars give up everything because the celebs can pay. That's the reason. The regular folk can't. They end up getting a debt, because how can you afford those classes? Those classes are expensive. D Nice goes, a tax write-off. Yes, because they probably donate money. I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% sure, but they probably do. Which is crazy. And this is not, Scientology is not just a compound like David Koresh. Scientology is actually like an actual place with people trying to recruit people. And that's what's the scary thing about it. And I feel like that church shouldn't be tax exempt at all. Wink Shave Bear is saying if you're a normal person, they take all your property and everything. That I'm not sure of, Wink Shave Berry. But I do know they isolate you from your family. I do know that much, but I'm not sure about they take everything from you, but I'm kinda, like, monetary wise, I know they do. And it's horrific. I mean, it's not really as Scientology is not really like a horror concept, but I feel like it is horror. It's horrific. Because just hearing about what these people are going through or what the people that have us, that are now out of it have gone through is horrific and scary at the same time. Leonora goes, "In the law, if you were recognized as a church, they're tax exempt, so boink." I think it was when Clinton was in office is when he gave that church when they did the tax exempt, if I'm not mistaken. Cheryl King goes, "They are everywhere they are," and that's the scary thing. So I do support the people that go out there and protest and talk about it because it's scary. It's something that's like right in our backyards and we don't know any we if we didn't hear about it, we wouldn't know anything about it. You know what I mean? And so it's good to spread the word and let people know about it because it's scary. In my opinion, that's really scary. I'm pretty sure he does, Heather, whatever. Tom Cruise funds them in a big way. Wink Shape Berry goes, "It's a real life horror." It is. It is. It's scary. I couldn't imagine being I mean, I'm sure there's people in there that didn't grow up. I get the people that grew up in that have parents in and they were born into it. I get it. They don't know. It's sad though, but they don't know any better and it's sad. I get that part, but the people going in, I feel like in some ways they might feel like they're trapped and they don't know how to get out of it. Because I feel like in some way something I feel like if you went into it and you didn't grow up into it, there has to be something that like a light bulb that flickers in that says this isn't right. Heather, whatever goes, someone said Miss Cavage's wife was spotted, but I think it was fake. Cheryl King goes, but if you speak out about them, you go missing. So it's probably fear. They keep you in there for fear. I'm not 100% sure, but that could be it. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. We are going to head over to Nerd Report Daily. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight I'm talking about all things spooky in the news, and I will catch you on the next one. On Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there, be squared. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Stay spooky, sweet nightmares, and good night. And we're gonna automatically go over to Nerd Report Daily and hang out with Bernadette and Brandon. Good night, guys. You guys are awesome.